Last night we heard the President of the United States address this nation and this body in this chamber, as well as our colleagues on the other side of the Capitol and the Senate. You think there's some sort of magic moment that the virus has suddenly left the earth. Now all of a sudden we're free here on the floor of the House of Representatives to be without mask. Just coincidentally timed. Just coincidentally timed when the State of the Union is upon us. Number of states have lifted their mandates, all suddenly coincidentally timed around the State of the Union. Been interested watching the Speaker of the House suddenly saying, well, it's a new moment in COVID. I listened to my colleague from Texas just a moment ago on the other side of the aisle talking about how we've had this great victory through the action of the genius of our federal government to free us from the perils of this virus. Tell that to the children who've been sitting in the corners of classrooms wearing masks. Tell that to the members of our military, the members of our Border Patrol, the so-called heroes. I say so-called because my Democratic colleagues a year ago were calling healthcare workers heroes, and now they're forcing them still to lose their job if they don't take a jab because of the wisdom of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that they know best. They know best. As the president sat there arrogantly in that posture and preaching to the United States public and to this body yesterday, talking about how we're going to beat this virus. And oh, by the way, suddenly, magically, we need to fund the police. Go back and look at every statement that's been made by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle over the last 2 years talking about defunding the police. We know who's defunding the police across the country, and it sure as heck isn't Republicans. It's Democrats across this country, and my colleagues on the other side of the aisle know it. The president knows it, and the president's reading polls. The president knows that the approach to the virus has been devastating to the American people. Lockdowns, mask mandates, vaccine mandates are being rejected by the American people, and the polls show it, so the magic moment has been arrived. And the President of the United States knows full well when he says the border should be secure that it's a lie. I just want to be very clear. When the President said last night that the border should be secure, it is a lie. He is lying to the American people. When I was in Del Rio just last week, 1,000 people a day are coming across that river and nobody gives a whit. And they don't give a whit about the 26 migrants who have died in the Rio Grande since October 1. Since the cameras left the Haitians sitting in the Rio Grande. They don't care that there are 26 dead migrants. They don't care about the 119 bodies in Brooks County where the sheriff has to bring a body trailer to Brooks County. They don't care about the fences getting cut and the livestock getting out of the ranchers I met with last week who are in tears about their property and their ranchers in South Texas. No, the president gets up and gives a speech and declares the border is secure and all is well. And then gets up and talks about solidarity with the Ukrainian people, yet refuses to unleash American oil and gas, refuses to unleash natural gas, liquefied natural gas that would change the world, refuses to stop importing 600,000 barrels of Russian oil every single day because we won't unleash American oil and gas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep telling the truth about the border. We're going to keep telling the truth about vaccine mandates. We're going to keep telling the truth about the need for American energy. And we're not going to bow down to the climate hysterics and the false lies about border security that are endangering the American people. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities toward the President.